Formula One comes stateside for round 11 of the 2020 season, and all the drivers and teams are thrilled to be back in Austin, Texas for another US Grand Prix. Of course, one team that has been counting the weeks till this event are the Haas Chevrolet team, and with the chance to impress in front of a home crowd, both drivers put in considerable time in on Friday to try and home in on their desired setup. Ferrari, coming off 2 wins in a row, are equally confident of a good showing, and they know both Audi and Jaguar will be right on their tails. Audi has brought further overall updates to their power unit for straight-line speed, and Jaguar have a new turbo design installed onto both of their cars. The team hope the new turbo will give a boost to Aarav's qualifying, as the team aimed to deliver a smoother power curve to the rear wheels when coupled with new engine mappings. And finally, Leclerc and Alfa Romeo continue to impress with their Friday pace. This comes at a time when much talk has started circulating that Leclerc is going to be the hottest commodity in the driver market for 2021, with various teams interested in signing him if Ferrari don't promote him. Let's take a look now at the starting grid for the 2020 US Grand Prix, and it is the American team that puts their car on pole position, with Nico Hülkenberg going quickest during the Saturday session, going quicker than everybody, including Antonio Giovinazzi, who could only manage second position on the front row of the grid. And it's 4 different teams in the top 4, with Aarav putting his Jaguar third quickest and Carlos Sainz going 4th quickest for the Audi team. Then comes the other Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel, both Ferraris in the top 5, and he'll be lining up on that third row alongside the other Jaguar of Stoffel Vandoorne, just a few positions off of his teammate. Romain Grosjean 6 positions down on his teammate, way down in 7th position, while Nico, of course, getting pole position. Then comes the McLaren of Daniel Ricciardo, only could manage 8th position in qualifying. Then comes the other Audi of Sergio Perez, once again just barely inside the top 10, and Kevin Magnussen rounding out that top 10 in the other McLaren. The Mercedes will line up alongside each other once again, with Max Verstappen getting the better of Pascal Wehrlein this time, starting 11th and 12th respectively. Then comes Mick Schumacher for the Monster Rehab team alongside the Alfa Romeo of Leclerc, surprisingly enough, in 14th position. The Alfa Romeo showing that improved pace. Sophia Flores in the other Monster Rehab will line up just behind her teammate from 15th position. Then comes the Williams of Lando Norris, managing to go quicker than the Red Bulls. Pierre Gasly will line up 17th position. Fuoco way down in 18th position, a few spots off of his teammate. Then comes the other Williams of Sergio Camara in 19th position. Nico Kari way down in 20th, a disappointing qualifying for him. And bringing up the rear once again, it is the Renaults, with Bottas getting the better of Ocon.
What's going on, guys? Aarava here, and welcome back to my F1 MyDriver Career Mode, episode number 11 today for Season 6 at the USA Grand Prix here at the Circuit of the Americas. If you did miss episode number 10 at the German Grand Prix, be sure to go check that one out before you see this one uploaded a couple of days ago on Monday. But following that German Grand Prix, obviously a pretty mixed one for us. We had some good battling, but ultimately we lost some ground to Stoffel Vandoorne, our teammate in the championship, by a couple of points only, but we're still leading the way, you can see, ahead of Vandoorne and Carlos Sainz in 3rd place, the nearest challenger to both us Jaguar cars, with Vettel in 4th and Daniel Ricciardo 5th and Giovinazzi 6th place there. But here at COTA, a really good positive Saturday for us, qualifying in 3rd place after a brand new turbo has been fitted to the Jaguar car for both me and Stoffel, and that's given me a certain boost in qualifying. So good to qualify ahead of Stoffel for this one, just behind Giovinazzi, and Hülkenberg doing an amazing job to get pole position for the home team, obviously for Haas Chevrolet. So we're going to see how we do today and hopefully try and extend our championship lead if we can, and get that lead back up like we did before Germany. But we're going to go here and form up to the grid and get ready for those 5 red lights for round number 11 of the championship. Who will the sun be shining for here in Austin, Texas, as 5 red lights go out for the USA Grand Prix? 28 laps to go around COTA, and Hülkenberg gets a great start there of pole position. Giovinazzi not so much in P2. We're on the right hand side. We're going to nip down the inside though and try and force our way through into P2. We've made it work quite beautifully there, and Carlos Sainz up into 3rd place. So Giovinazzi really not had a great turn 1 there, as Hülkenberg has already got a huge lead as he goes into the S section. We're going to try and chase after him in P2. Carlos Sainz P3, and it looks like Giovinazzi just about hanging on P4, and it looks like, oh, Vettel really slowing down there as the two McLaren cars are ahead of him there, just in the distance you can see in the background of that shot. But as we move back to our POV on the main straight, Carlos Sainz powering past us there with the Audi engine, the upgraded Audi engine for this race, but we're going to nip back down the inside, lock up on the left tire, squeeze him out though, and now Carlos has to kind of defend from Antonio. They go side by side as we go into the stadium section. Will the Italian be able to hang it around the Spaniard? It's going to be very, very close. They're still side by side, and Antonio gets the shoulders out, the elbows out, everything out there to get back up into P3, so good showing there for the Italian and the Ferrari car to try and chase after. We can see there Hulkenberg already with a commanding lead to myself in second place. Let's try and see if we can close up to him. But it's then Giovinazzi in third place, Carlos Sainz at the moment P4, Vandoorne in fifth place, followed by Romain Grosjean, the two McLaren cars of Ricciardo and Magnussen respectively, and then you got Sebastian Vettel and Sergio Perez to round out that top pack as it were. But as we look further back to the second pack, we've got Sophia Flores leading that train ahead of Charles Leclerc, and two Mercedes cars ahead of Lando Norris, who's doing a fabulous job at the moment, I may add, ahead of Antonio Fuoco and the two Red Bulls and two Renaults. So Norris trying to impress as much as he can in these last few rounds of 2020. But we move back to our POV, and you can see now down the main straight, Antonio Giovinazzi and Carlos Sainz will both get the slipstream off one another, and it looks like they may try and overtake me either side of me. It's going to be three wide as we go down into the brake zone there. Very, very close stuff. Lock up a little bit, a tiny bit of contact made, and then we go, it's a sandwich in between the two guys. They're going to go side by side on the exit, and I think Giovinazzi will still stick ahead. We've done a good job to just about defend there. That was very, very nerve-wracking as we almost got kind of pinched from either side, and that could have ended badly. You never know with a bit of contact there. But meanwhile, because of that, Hulkenberg just extending his lead even more. So Nico's going to be very, very happy about that as we move later into turn one. Giovinazzi tries to overtake. I defend well down the inside. That actually allows Stoffel Vandoorne to come down the inside. He's overtaken Giovinazzi, and it looks like, I think, Carlos Sainz way down the order then. I think he's two positions back there. He now finds himself behind Grosjean and Daniel Ricciardo. So I don't know what on earth went on there, but Carlos Sainz has had an absolute mare of an exit through the end of lap 2, and now Stoffel Vandoorne, after overtaking Giovinazzi, is now attacking me through the hairpin onto this main back straight, and he's got DRS at this point wide open on the right hand side. We have to try and defend as much as we can down the inside. We jockey for position. It's lockups galore as we go towards the stadium section now. Vandoorne having to defend from Giovinazzi now, but he may come back at me. He's going to send it down the inside with an absolute dive bomb and a half, and he makes it stick there on the left hand side, but loses some momentum. So we try and go around the outside there, do a bit of a switchback move on him, and we're going to just try our best to hang around the outside. We have to leave him in the room though, and now through the triple right-hander, will we have this? Vandoorne has a look around the outside, not going to work, but that's an absolute awesome ding-dong battle already in the early stages of this Grand Prix between myself and Stoffel. All the meanwhile, Hulkenberg really benefiting from that and getting away from the entire top pack. Meanwhile, further back down the order, you've got Max Verstappen trying to make a move on, I think this is Charles Leclerc, into turn one, trying to catch basically the rest of the pack there as Sophia Flores gets away from him, and he makes the move. He actually pushes Leclerc right out there onto the curbing there. So I think Leclerc maybe is battling Norris now for those last points paying positions, I think. But now we move back to our fight with Stoffel Vandoorne with DRS. He's going to try and move down the inside into turn one. We're going to have to try and just hang it round the outside as best we can to defend from him, but Vandoorne does push us very wide off onto the curbing, and he's up into second place there. So a little no love lost there between us two teammates. So it's now Vandoorne second, myself third, Giovinazzi still hanging on there in fourth place. Although as we move on now, we've got a little move there between Daniel Ricciardo going down the inside. Looks like Giovinazzi's lost the place to not only the Haas car, but also Ricciardo, although he will stick it back down the inside to try and defend his position there. So at the moment, we got both Giovinazzi and Carlos Sainz progressively just going further and further down the field as Ricciardo puts the elbows out there on the exit of that left-hander and does get up the position up into what will be fifth place there behind Romain Grosjean. We now move on to lap 6. You can see Vandoorne pulling away from us there quite considerably there. I'm struggling at the moment with these super soft tyres. I'm boxing in this lap to my engineer, but then Vandoorne, you can see up ahead, comes in and ruins my efforts and my plans, so I have to stick out for one more lap than I really want to. So yeah, these super softs at the moment not really working for me, surprisingly actually. I'm quite surprised they're not, because usually I do tend to like the softer compounds in F1. So at the moment I'm probably thinking about going onto the soft tyres. We'll have to see, but we're going to have to stick out for one more lap, unfortunately, coming at the end of lap 7 it will be, and that's actually going to allow Romain Grosjean to maybe close up to us. We're going to have to go defensive to the inside as we go into the slow left-hander before we get to the back straight. A lot of oversteer there on the exit. We're in rich mix at the moment, and that didn't work out for me, so Grosjean, other position, we're going to have to try and slipstream him back. We don't have DRS. He does off us. We've got Ricciardo on the right-hand side trying to overtake Grosjean. He kind of hits the rear end of Grosjean there. He has to try and do some late braking to go down the inside of both of them there to get P2 back. So we're really having to fight very, very hard just to keep our positions here in this USA Grand Prix. So for now, it's not looking too great. I really need my pace to up basically in the latter stages of this race. But we come into the pits eventually now on the end of lap 7 and slow down for the pit lane limiter. You can see Giovinazzi also coming in along with Daniel Ricciardo, I think that is, and that will be Romain Grosjean in the background. No, it's Carlos Sainz, sorry. Carlos Sainz in the Audi car. So all the 4 of us into the pits. Change of tyres, we're onto a set of super soft tyres, so we're not actually onto a set of softs. My team want to continue on the super softs. The aggressive strategy today is a 3-stop with, I believe it will be 3 sets of super softs and 1 set of soft tyres towards the end of the Grand Prix. Meanwhile, as we come out the pits, Giovinazzi just comes out ahead of Sebastian Vettel. They go side by side, and Giovinazzi, I think, will just about keep it ahead of Vettel, but Vettel closing up and gaining quite a bit there with the undercut to his younger teammate. So the undercut may be the way to go, and that's exactly why I wanted to pit earlier on lap 6, but Vandoorne, as I said, as you saw, kind of ruined that for me. But meanwhile, later down the order, we've got Max Verstappen overtaking Sophia Flores for up the position and trying to come back into this Grand Prix after a very slow getaway in stint 1. Meanwhile, we can see this is Daniel Ricciardo ahead of Romain Grosjean, and Sergio Perez still staying out in this Grand Prix for 1 more lap on lap 8. So apologies there. It was Kevin Magnussen then who was in the pits with us along with Carlos Sainz. It was Antonio Giovinazzi previously then, but Ricciardo and Grosjean and Sergio Perez do eventually come into the pits then on that next lap there. So we'll see how they fare in terms of where they'll come out in comparison to us. But as we move back to our POV on into the middle of lap 9, we're chasing after Nico Carey at the moment, who's yet to make a pit stop in this Grand Prix. As you can clearly see, he's on the soft tyres on the top left, so of course he's going a lot longer. The soft tyres probably, I think, go about 11 laps at best, I think, or just about comfortably there, so he'll be going for a lot longer. But we kind of overtaken very easily. Rich mix, DRS wide open, and we're up into P10. You can see now the next car up ahead is Stoffel Vandoorne, but he's extending that gap even further than it was before the pit stop phases, so we have plenty of chasing to do to try and catch up to him. Meanwhile, as we go through the last corner, this is Max Verstappen. This is actually up ahead. This is Verstappen from Ocon and then Vandoorne. So this is the pack we're actually trying to catch, and it's going to be Esteban Ocon actually going for an overtake there. It's going to be 3 wide into turn 1. Vandoorne with a double overtake there down the inside. It's Pascal Wehrlein, sorry, not Max Verstappen, but Wehrlein defends from Ocon. Ocon comes back at Wehrlein there. So very surprising situations right now. I didn't think I would be seeing a Renault car overtaking the Mercedes car in a straight line, but some low drag packages maybe for Renault there in a straight line, and Ocon able to re-overtake Wehrlein there. So decent stuff for the young Frenchman. And you can see Vandoorne now in clean air now after making that double overtake. So he's really doing the job at the moment, Vandoorne, and I need to pull my socks up really and get moving here. So we're going to try and close up on Pascal Wehrlein now as we go through the triple right-hander. Wehrlein clearly has issues there on the soft tyres. Obviously, he's been on that sort of softs from the start of the Grand Prix, so perhaps his tyres going off the cliff. Maybe that's a little indication that they only go about 10 laps maybe, or maybe just on the Mercedes car, because Ocon appears to be going okay now. But speaking of Ocon, we will try and overtake him now as we go on to lap 11, setting our best time of the Grand Prix so far as Grosjean sets the timesheet to light with a purple lap time. We're down the inside with DRS into turn 1, and that's going to be up into P8 now. And so once again, we have clean air ahead of us to try and catch up to Stoffel Vandoorne. We move on to lap 11 though, yellow flags, and Mick Schumacher is out of this Grand Prix. Unfortunately, we've got no replay camera to show you guys for that, but I'm guessing it was because of an engine failure, because there was no other incident to be involved in for any other drivers. So the safety car is out here for that engine failure. I'm guessing it was parked up at a very awkward position, and that means actually further up ahead you can see this is Stoffel Vandoorne coming to the pits along with a whole other gaggle of cars. It's Sophia Flores in the pits, Lando Norris as well in the Williams car. All these guys, and it looks like they're going on to a set of medium tyres, I think, for all of them there. Up ahead also is the Alfa Romeo of Charles Leclerc. So it's Sophia Flores, Charles Leclerc, Lando Norris and Stoffel Vandoorne all onto a set of medium tyres. They come out into a bit of traffic there with the rest of us staying out for the safety car period. So this is going to be very interesting, because I think they may be then going to the end of the race then on medium tyres, because the mediums can go very, very long. But meanwhile, under the safety car, we've got more things to worry about here at the moment.
There's smoke coming from the back of the car, guys.
Yep, Aaron, can you go to torque 1 on the engine, please? Torque 1, avoid torque 7 and Q. Now we go to the green flag. So that's avoid torque 7 and Q. The turbo's overheating. We're trying to work on a solution and then you should be able to use torque 7 again.
Copy. Does Stoffel have any issues?
Negative.
Right. Great.
So as we wind up to the restart of this safety car, we have got issues now for the rest of this race with our turbo starting to smoke a tad, overheating. It shouldn't be a fatal issue at the moment because our team are trying to sort it. We have to reduce our engine mode a little bit, but we should be able to get Rich Mix back just immediately onto the restart when we go green. But we're right behind Hulkenberg, so I can't focus on that. I just need to focus on the racing and let my team solve it back in the pit wall. But now we go to green flags, yellow flags momentarily as we go through the final corner. But here we go. It's Hulkenberg for myself, then Max Verstappen in third place on the medium tyres. A whole load of cars on medium tyres here in this top 10 at the moment, so I think they may be going to the end of the Grand Prix, as I mentioned. So this is going to be a very intriguing Grand Prix now to the end, because we're about halfway through it, and myself, Hulkenberg, and a whole other cars actually are still on super softs and soft tyres. So it's going to be a case of if the medium tyre runners can keep it ahead of all of us who are still on the softer compound of tyres. So very, very intriguing strategy-wise in this afternoon's Grand Prix for the rest of it. But now as we move on to the back straight, we can see Romain Grosjean trying to power past Max Verstappen. Doesn't quite work there, so it's still Verstappen in third place. Defends quite well there from Grosjean, because it looks like Grosjean really had the bit between his teeth. Meanwhile, down the inside goes Antonio Giovinazzi on Sophia Flores to overtake up into what will be, I think that's going to be P5, I think, for him, just ahead of the young German who leads that train of medium tyre runners ahead of the Alfa Romeo, the Williams car, and then our teammate Stoffel Vandoorne also in the mix, just ahead of one of the McLaren cars. So I think that must be Daniel Ricciardo on the super soft tyres with Carlos Sainz on soft tyres and Vettel also on super soft. So you can see a lot of people really differing in strategies and tyre compounds at the moment. We got Hulkenberg into the pits there, I think that was. So we continue on for one more lap at least. So we'll take the lead of the Grand Prix, ironically, with these issues at the moment. And we've got Verstappen still right behind us, still defending for Romain Grosjean. But it'll be interesting to see what tyre Hulkenberg chooses as Grosjean goes down the inside there, pushes Verstappen out, and that actually allows the Audi car to go down the inside. So that is, I think that must be Sergio Perez, I'm pretty sure, because I think Carlos Sainz is down there with Vettel and Vandoorne stuck in a bit of traffic. But we're going to take a look at a replay here, because there's actually an issue there for Daniel Ricciardo's McLaren. So he actually had a puncture on the restart. This was literally as the green flag was waved. Ricciardo had a puncture there on the front left. So Ricciardo, with all the bad luck in the world really this season, I don't think there's, apart from the race he won, I don't think he's got very lucky in this season really. So, you know, he wanted a better change of fortunes from his torrid time at Ferrari, well, not torrid time, but pretty mediocre time at Ferrari, and he's not really found any more luck at McLaren this season so far. So he's going to be, it's another Grand Prix for him to forget really. But we're into the pits now. On the very next lap, we strap on a set of soft tyres, and this will be to the end of the Grand Prix, I'm pretty sure. But we actually get jumped there by the Haas car. So once again, in another Grand Prix, our team just don't do the job on the pit stop there, and we lose some time and one place to the second Haas car there. So Grosjean and myself come out just behind Nico Hulkenberg, but all of us now going to the end of the Grand Prix on soft tyres, I'm pretty sure. So now it's really just a question of if we've got enough pace to catch the medium tyres up ahead. We're in 15th place now, so we've got a lot of catching up to do. Immediately though, we're going to try and catch up to Romain Grosjean if we can, and try and overtake him if we can. We go down the inside here. It's a tricky place to try and hang it around the outside, so we're going to try the switchback move. Grosjean goes off circuit a little bit, so we go side by side off the exit. We will nip it down the inside on the apex there before we reach the slow left-hander to the back straight. So nice little move there, kind of forced Grosjean into a mistake really, as he just sent off wide. I was nowhere near him, so he just went off wide on his own accord. But he will come back and is now down the back straight, because with the turbo overheating issues, we may not be in a fatal position at the moment, but we are losing straight line speed, so we have to try and defend. We go very aggressively back to the inside there, duck to the inside, not going to work though. Grosjean does carry it round the outside, and he's done well there, so we'll have to try and come back at him on towards lap 18 now, with 10 laps to go in this Grand Prix, down the inside of the Frenchman. It's another lovely little battle we're having for a few laps here, just like we did back at the British Grand Prix at round 2 of this season. Grosjean now comes back at us once again on the back straight, so I think we're going to be seeing a lot of deja vu right now with Grosjean, as he's going to have the speed every single time now down this back straight. But obviously the car still has the downforce. The turbo's not going to affect the downforce we have on the car. It's just down the back straights. We're just going to have a bit of lack of speed as the turbo just doesn't work as efficiently as it needs to with the overheating it's got at the moment. We try our best. You can see we are able to pull through on that left hand in the stadium section, but we just lose the time then on the main straight. Meanwhile, we've got Carlos Sainz at the moment leading this Grand Prix from Max Verstappen on medium tyres, who's been caught by the soft tyre runner of Antonio Giovinazzi. So you can see, at least for Antonio, he's got the speed at the moment and the pace on the soft tyre to actually catch up to these medium tyre runners. So he opens the DRS wide open down the inside on the left, and he should actually get that before the brake zone even starts there. So he's up into second place, so doing a great job there. But equally, Verstappen doing a decent job, you must say, for how slow the Mercedes car has generally been this season to still be there in third place. Meanwhile, behind him, it's Sophia Flores still leading this train of Charles Leclerc, and then Lando Norris ahead of Stoffel Vandoorne, and that is Sergio Perez. Both of them still stuck in this traffic there. And then you've got Esteban Ocon doing a fabulous job, actually, ahead of the Red Bull car of Nico Carey, who is at the moment once again outperforming Pierre Gasly right now in a rookie season. And we can see the two Haas cars follow behind. But then as we cut back up to the front, you can see Antonio Giovinazzi does come in actually for our last pit stop. So Giovinazzi actually really not actually anywhere near the top 5 then, if he's had to make another extra pit stop there, because all of us are going to the end. I'm pretty sure most of us are going to the end there. So Giovinazzi is going to be a little bit down the order now. So it'll be Verstappen back up into second place, and now these guys in prime positions to fight for the top positions and the top point page positions on the medium tyre. We're getting back to our POV now on lap 21 with 7 laps to go, still chasing down Romain Grosjean. Yellow flags up ahead in the S section for some reason as Vettel sets fast up the Grand Prix. It's Max Verstappen with an engine failure, and he's out of the USA Grand Prix, and that may be the final nail in the coffin for Max Verstappen. He was doing so well in a brilliant second place there on the medium tyres, and probably would have been able to go to the end of the Grand Prix there, as Carlos Sainz now dips into the pit under the virtual safety car and tries to effectively gain some free time there, as he can't go to the end on his set of tyres, he doesn't feel like. So at the moment, that'll be, I think it will be Sophia Flores into the lead of the Grand Prix then. Second place Charles Leclerc, and Lando Norris in third, with Vandoorne in fourth place. So Verstappen is going to be very, very pissed off there. He was in prime position then to maybe even just take the lead of the Grand Prix and take it to the end there. So we're moving back to our POV at the end of the virtual safety car, lap 22 now. You can see there is Sainz coming out of the pits there, so he's going to be behind us in what will be P10, as Ocon is sent wide there as Hulkenberg overtook him, and so that will allow us to go round the outside left of Romain Grosjean into the S section. We'll be able to stick our nose in. It's going to be very, very close. I don't think we'll have to do it. We have to stick behind the Frenchman into the second phase of the Maggotts and Beckett's copycat section, pretty much here at Kota, as we go down the inside now in the same exact place. We tried to make the move on him earlier in the Grand Prix. This time we're on the other side of the circuit though, on the inside to the corner. Once again Grosjean sent off wide. That time I sort of forced him off a little bit wide, but no contact was made there and he had enough room. So once again Grosjean just unable to hang it through with a bit of lack of downforce maybe of the Haas Chevrolet car. And so for now we're keeping ahead of him, and then you got Carlos Sainz right up his gearbox, and also not too far behind there Antonio Giovinazzi. So they both slipstream with DRS wide open, so it's a double overtake there for both those cars, and Giovinazzi also trying to join in on the party. So I may lose 3 positions here in the span of one straight. So you can clearly see the turbo overheating issues are affecting my car for sure. I mean, the Jaguar engine's one of the fastest engines this year, so I shouldn't really be losing that much time in a straight line, but I definitely am. So just showing off the issues we are having. And Sebastian Vettel now is out of this Grand Prix, and I'm guessing it's going to be another engine failure for him. We've got no replay camera of that, unfortunately. Meanwhile, we've got Lando Norris now overtaking Charles Leclerc after many, many laps of being stuck behind the youngster in the Alfa Romeo. He makes the move. Meanwhile, we've got Nico Carey trying his best to defend from Nico Hulkenberg. Not going to work. We cut back to our POV on lap 23. We've got Giovinazzi and Grosjean making their way above Ocon. We try and use that to our advantage to nip down the inside of the Italian to try and re-overtake him. We're going to go side by side into the stadium section, so I tried to use Ocon as a bit of a kind of bolster and obstacle course to try and overtake the Ferrari car here. We're still side by side. It's going to be another ding-dong battle between myself and Giovinazzi for about the 5 minute time in my career, and we go round the outside. He's going to stick it down the inside. Who will have the bigger ball through the triple right-hander? Looks like Giovinazzi will continue to stick it through. He forces us wide, and we have to lift off and let him through and tuck him behind, because there's no way you can fit 2 cars there through that left-hander. It's just very off-camber together, so you're just never going to make it work. So we have to stick behind and just try and maybe focus on solidifying our position ahead of Esteban Ocon and Kevin Magnussen. Speaking of Kevin Magnussen, looks like Magnussen does have DRS. He's going to go for the move on the Renault car there, down the inside into turn 1, and he's going to be met with a waft of smoke. And I don't know about you guys, but I think that waft of smoke is getting bigger and bigger now as the laps go on. Now we're looking at a replay of Carlos Sainz overtaking the Renault car of Esteban Ocon just as we were defending from the likes of the Ferrari car and the Haas car there. So because of that, Carlos Sainz now in a lot of clean air, closing up to the second Haas car of the afternoon of Nico Hülkenberg just up ahead. You can see in the distance going down the back straight, chasing after Stoffel Vandoorne, who's still stuck behind Charles Leclerc in the Alfa Romeo and behind Lando Norris there, and with Sofia Flores still leading this USA Grand Prix. But Carlos Sainz looks like is a man on a mission there. He's already made a couple of overtakes after his late pit stop there, and he's on a charge to now catch up to that top pack. But meanwhile, back to us on lap 24, Magnussen, you can see, has literally waltzed past us. He strolled past us there, no pun intended, on the left-hand side with DRS, and he's up into 10th place there. We're out of the points-paying positions, and now Sergio Perez may do the same. I go defensive on the left-hand side. We've got rich mix, so I'm trying my best to push the engine, but the turbo, because of its failure, or it overheating really, I just don't have that speed anymore. So we go down the inside to try and defend from the Mexican in the Audi car. We go side-by-side in the stadium section. We're on the outside this time. Perez has pushed us wide, though. Very contact made there. Perez got the elbows out. We've gone off a little bit. Thankfully, no spin. Just a bit of a kind of quarter spin almost on the grass there. But Perez, very rude. I mean, he didn't do too much wrong, but still a little bit rude not to give me a little bit of space and kind of push me off there. I mean, kick a man when he's already down there with turbo issues. But now Vandoorne finally now, later on the next lap, gets down the inside of Charles Leclerc. A bit of contact made, though, between the Haas car and the Alfa Romeo there. But that allows Carlos Sainz to get right up to the back of the gearbox of Nico Hülkenberg. But Vandoorne, good for him at least for his sake, and that will actually work very well for him for the championship. So yeah, that is a very crucial move for Vandoorne, really. That's a very crucial move. But now, meanwhile, we move back on to the next lap then. And it's going to be a double overtake potentially for Carlos Sainz as Hülkenberg goes side by side with the youngster Alfa Romeo. But it's Carlos Sainz who's gone down the inside of both of them there. So Carlos Sainz is a man on a mission for sure. A double overtake there. And now he's up into what will be 4th place and can close down and try and chase after this man, Stoffel Vandoorne, who's already on the back of Lando Norris now for 2nd place. So you can see Vandoorne and Sainz in the dying stages of this Grand Prix now maybe have been told by the engineers that I'm out of the points and it's their time to shine now, as Vandoorne now on the next lap down the inside of Lando Norris, the youngster in the Williams car. He's got the move there. He's up into 2nd place, and now he's got a lot of clean air to try and catch the other youngster, the German in the Monster Rehab car, Sofia Flores, who's still doing a fantastic job at the moment leading this Grand Prix on mediums. All these guys are mediums. Carlos Sainz, the only runner here in that top 4 on super soft tyres. So what can he do? He's got clean air to try and catch up to Lando Norris. And meanwhile, back behind, look, you can see there, Charles Leclerc now has been overtaken by both the Haas cars and the Ferrari car of Antonio Giovinazzi. So such a shame for him. Looks like his tyres have gone off the cliff on the medium tyres there. Not surprising though, it's always going to be a very tough ask to go and make the one-stop work here in this Grand Prix. Meanwhile, Magnussen down the inside of Nico Carey there to go up the order and get some more points. And there's been contact there though between the Red Bull and the Audi car, and Perez has gone wayward. So can we try and re-overtake Perez, get a bit of revenge, and we go down the inside just for the sake of it really, to have some racing left in these dying laps here. We go side by side with Perez, try and squeeze him out yet again. Maybe a contact made there, but this time I'm determined to try and force my way through just to kind of shove Perez off a little bit back for shoving me off earlier in the Grand Prix. We do get the position once again back up into 11th place, but it may be futile because Perez back onto the main straight, just going to get us back probably, and that will be the case. So we go down the main straight now with Perez, DRS wide open, slipstream on the left hand side, will re-overtake us, but then you can see the Renault overtakes us in the distance there, and I think we're slowing down. We've got further issues.
Smoke's picking up now, I think turbo's gone.
Keep going, we're trying to get to the end of the race.
So finally, after our car was limping through the entire Grand Prix with overheating issues, it looks like the turbo is fully starting to give up now in this Grand Prix. We were already out of the points now, but that's just going to be a further kick to have to retire the car potentially as we now move on board with Carlos Sainz, who's overtaken now Lando Norris with 3 laps to go in this Grand Prix, including the one we're on right now. So Carlos Sainz up into 3rd place now. Vandoorne still 2nd, but will Sainz be able to pull off what would be a fantastic drive this afternoon to come home from what was around P10 after his final pit stop to what would be a fantastic podium, potentially even second, potentially even first. I mean, the speed of the Audi car at the moment there with Sainz is so fast that I wouldn't even put it past Sainz being able to win this Grand Prix still with two laps to go. Meanwhile, then back behind, we've got Nico Hulkenberg making the move on Lando Norris. So it looks like Norris's tyres have given up as he goes wide there, and both the Haas cars will make the overtake. So it's going to be the double overtake, the move there for the two Haas cars on the young Williams driver. And so Lando Norris has to defend from Giovinazzi now into the S section. So both Norris and Leclerc now facing major tyre issues.
Okay, I have Talk 1 and Box. That's Talk 1 and Box. We're very sorry, but we're going to have to retire the car. We need to save the rest of the power unit.
So that is it for our race then this afternoon. We have to retire the car and come into the pits to save the rest of the engine. The turbo may be able to be saved for the next race. Really, really quite unfortunate to have the new design and for it to only fail on our car this afternoon. It worked so well on Saturday to get us that P3 and what could have been in this Grand Prix had it not been for those overheating issues. But we move now onto the top fight. We can see it's Sophia Flores still in first place now. This is on the last lap of the Grand Prix, I believe, and it's Stoffel Vandoorne still in second place. But Carlos Sainz, look how close he is now down this main straight. Will he have enough speed to try and maybe overtake the Jaguar car? Who knows? I mean, that car has been so quick down this back straight. Meanwhile, then you got in P4, it's Nico Hulkenberg from Laurent Grosjean. Then you got Lando Norris and Antonio Giovinazzi trying to close down the young Brit as we go into the brake zone. Just not enough speed there for the Italian. Meanwhile, back behind them, there's Charles Leclerc then, who's still defending from Kevin Magnussen, who's doing an okay job trying to get some points from McLaren today after Ricciardo's calamities. And then back behind them, it was Sergio Perez who's just made that move on the youngster Nico Carey in the Red Bull car. We move back up the order. Giovinazzi still just behind Lando Norris, unable to make the move then into the stadium section. Grosjean, Hulkenberg and Carlos Sainz still rapidly chasing down Vandoorne. So close. It'll be less than half a second there between the two guys for second and third place, but it's going to be across the line through the final corner. History is literally made here right in front of your eyes in Formula 1 at the USA Grand Prix with Sophia Flores, the first female winner of a Grand Prix in Formula 1 today, from Stoffel Vandoorne in second, Carlos Sainz in third place with a good points, double points paying position for the Haas cars there, high end. Unfortunate though, Hulkenberg once again couldn't convert a fantastic pole position to anything more, but there is your winner, the young German, first career win in a rookie season nonetheless, but even bigger, the first female winner in Formula 1. What a day, the USA Grand Prix, what a crazy race with our failure as well, and Vandoorne and Sainz coming back through. Carlos Sainz with a very arguable case for driver of the day there, with such a fantastic last stint there for him. And it looks like also, very surprisingly actually, hang on, Stoffel Vandoorne down the order, it looks like he's been handed a 5-place penalty there after the race. I'm not too sure why the FIA have decided to give him a 5-place penalty. Maybe, I don't know, it's some issues with his car, maybe something we didn't see, but he's got the penalty there, so he moves off the podium. Nico Hulkenberg will get some kind of justice there, at least there, for his drive today for third place. Carlos Sainz moves up to second place there, so that's going to be huge for the championship as well, and that's going to make things very close between myself and Stoffel, and I think that maybe Sainz who gets up into the lead of the standing. So crazy stuff, but a great drive there also for Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc there, the youngsters really shining today in Formula 1. But guys, if you have enjoyed that episode, smash the like button. If we can try and aim for over 2,000 likes, guys, once again, that would be absolutely fantastic. You guys have been literally killing it in the last 2 episodes. I can't thank you guys enough for that. Can we try it again? Let's go for it. Let me know what you thought in the comments below of this race. If you're new around here, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. I've been aarava. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Let's hand it off to the post-race questions. Goodbye.
Well, it was a thrilling race to watch from where we were in the paddock, but unfortunately for you, Aarav, I think that must be a bitter pill to swallow. Can you sum up your thoughts about that race?
Yes, it's a tough one to swallow, really, this race. I don't really know what to really say, really. Probably the worst case scenario, really, for us in terms of losing a new part like that. You know, we brought in the new turbo. It helped us initially. You know, it worked well. You know, we outqualified Stoffel, and you know the car felt great in on one lap in Rich Mix, and during the race it was the case as well when we were pushing, trying to overtake people, and yeah, and then it's just yeah, real shame when you get the call on the safety car, and I mean, I saw the smoke beforehand, but then the call team radio just confirms it, you know, with the issue. overheating, and yeah, it's probably one of the tougher races that I've had to experience in recent times, and probably I think just a bit more gutting because more than ever compared to maybe previous seasons as well, this car genuinely had the pace today and has had the pace for, you know, a lot of the races this season. So for it to fail like this, you know, we had gearbox issues before, and now this, and it just sucks a little bit because also it's not only happening to my car at the moment. Really, a lot of the time it's only happened to Stoffel's only really had one issue, which is at Monaco with the gearbox. Apart from that, it's all been on my car. So yeah.
So I don't know if you're aware yet, but you're now third in the championship standings behind Sainz and your teammate Stoffel. How do you go about bouncing back next race?
I don't really know, to be honest. Actually, I do. I think just keeping level head. I mean, I don't think I can get too caught up in, you know, what's out of my hands. I mean, I can't go in there and, you know, fix the turbo myself and, you know, design it and stop it overheating. So I can't really, you know, things happen. So I guess just keep my head down. We're gonna have the same, you know, new turbo for next race, and hopefully the guys will kind of, you know, work hard to, you know, try and rectify whatever issue we kind of bumped into where it was just being pushed a bit too hard during the race. And yeah, I mean, I think just do my talking on the track and just go out there and try and do the best job I can next weekend.
And finally for me, I know you may not be in the mood to think about it right now, but do you have any comment on Sophia Flores becoming the first female winner in Formula One?
Yeah, no, I mean, my mood may not be great, but I think I can also, in hindsight, you know, see what a great day for the sport it was, because it was such a great race for the amount of action there was. I could see from some of the highlights I've seen around the paddock. But yeah, I mean, for Sophia, it's absolutely insane, and I would say just, you know, savor it really, because I think lately, in the last, you know, couple of years, really, a lot of us have been only used to getting 1 or 2 wins in one season. Really, it's now become a little bit less common with, you know, the shorter seasons and just a lot more competitive feel that, you know, really it's only 1 or 2 wins you're getting a season. So I'd say to her, just really savor it, and yeah, it's an amazing achievement for her and for Formula One as well, to get here in 2020. And yeah, I mean, I guess it just shows how competitive the grid is really. I think at one point you had like Norris and Leclerc also fighting for what could have been the win. Stoffel was there as well, and Carlos was also there. So yeah, it's a very, very, very competitive season. I think probably definitely the most competitive season we've had, actually, I think, since I came into the sport at least. So yeah, I mean, at the moment I think the sport's in a really good place, and it can only get kind of better from here.
All right, thanks for your time. Better luck next race.
All right, cheers. Thanks a lot.